She had nothing to do with that attack, and it remains to be seen. But the bottom line is that, unfortunately, Toni Storm is not going to be able to compete. And we've been waiting to see this man back in action, gentlemen, for a long, long time.
Will Ospreay ready to battle Blake Christian, though, biding his time. Blake Christian undoubtedly coming into this match as the underdog, at least statistically speaking, Brian. But Will Ospreay, double neck fusion surgery, titanium plate and screws installed in his neck. Blake Christian is close to 100% as you can get, though.
Yeah, I think this is a huge opportunity for Blake Christian to really push and see what Will Ospreay has after that double fusion neck surgery. I mean, his neck surgery was much worse than I had it in 2014, and it took me much longer, 3 months longer to recover before I was able to wrestle again. I like what Will Ospreay is doing right here. He's mat wrestling, he's scientific wrestling right here. We'll see how much he pushes himself in this first match.
Ospreay nimbly springs back up to his feet. Blake Christian, though, not sitting idly by. He's not a spectator.
Well, Blake Christian is a high flyer as well. He takes a lot of chances. I don't think he's intimidated at all by Will Ospreay, and I thought he did a good job by rolling out of the ring at the beginning just to take a breath before this thing started.
Swing and a miss by Christian. Ospreay, though, connects with the Hurricane Rana.
Ospreay, even 6 months post-neck surgery, is still one of the most athletic wrestlers on the planet.
She sweeps up the leg, Cazador rolls on, splash on the floor.
I'm telling you guys, do not sleep on Blake Christian. This young man was named All Elite on social media 10 days ago, part of the Squirrel Tag Team, the Lethal Twist Tag Team, if you will. And he's been spectacular.
Yeah, and this is a real opportunity for him. Imagine Blake Christian beating Will Ospreay in his first match back.
Blake Christian again looking for the splash, but Ospreay, the knees are up, and Ospreay moving with purpose. High boot to the face of Christian.
How many people hit the ropes with such force and spring off like Will Ospreay does? He gets a lot of momentum.
Ospreay over the top, crashes into Christian on the floor. Ospreay looking sharp in his return to action, and I'm sure he's looking forward to competing at Wembley Stadium later this summer, August 30th. We make our return all in London. Tickets available this Friday, 10 a.m. GMT, livenation.co.uk, AEWTIS.com. Blake Christian, again, not sitting idly by.
They're going to fight right to him, Brian. That's what you got to do. You talked about the neck injury and how long it took you to return. You think that Will is going to, I was going to ask him to go take a little bit slow, but I guess the answer is no already.
No, I mean, this is a great strategy for Blake Christian, but I think it's a horrible, I mean, something could go really wrong here for Will Ospreay.
Sure could.
Blake Christian on the receiving end of a big springboard. Well, not much spring off those barricades, but a leaping elbow nonetheless by Will Ospreay. And Ospreay now springs. And second elbow this time. Higher elevation takes out Blake Christian. Leg is hook cover made, but Christian escapes.
One of the things that I wonder is you saw Will Ospreay just do that springboard elbow, and I wonder how his neck's feeling even after that fall, because that was, even when you give that move, you're falling from a pretty high altitude.
That is a great point. You really are. And look at Chris. Wow, there's
a neck breaker on the knee, and then DDT as Ospreay immediately clutching his head and neck. Brian, you mentioned the speedier recovery for Will Ospreay than you had. I mean, a lot of differences in Ospreay's neck surgery and yours, medical advancements, and of course, just genetics as well. But still, when you come back from an injury that severe, the mental catch-up is almost worse than the physical.
Yeah, the mental catch-up, and okay, how much do you want to put yourself at risk? Will Ospreay has always been a very risky wrestler. He's willing to dish out punishment to his opponent, but also takes a lot of punishment in the stuff that he does himself. And what is he going to be as aggressive with that kind of stuff as he was before?
We certainly saw him be aggressive this past Sunday when he attacked Jon Moxley and the Death Riders at Revolution, and Jon Moxley and Wheeler Yuta will be in action later on tonight against the Bang Bang Gang, Juice Robinson and Ace Austin, as well as Swerve Strickland. He jumped to the front of the line in the AEW World Championship title picture with his victory over Brody King. We'll hear from him tonight. Speedball Michael Bailey, Mark Davis, one-on-one, as Ospreay showed no signs of ring rust, Tony.
Yeah, not at all. And there was twice now. Wait a minute, here's the cover.
Remain near leg hooked. Of course, Darby Allin, Gabe Kidd, the coffin match later on tonight. And Mina Shirakawa stepping in for Timeless Tony Storm to take on Marina Shafir, no holds barred. And what a main event. Jungle Jack Perry and the Young Bucks take on Kazuchika Okada, RPG Vice, all of that and so much more coming up tonight on Dynamite. Blake Christian, the stomp on the spine, the upper back of Will Ospreay.
Yeah, he forced Will Ospreay down with that right foot.
DDT on the floor.
Not good for Will at all, man.
As now, Blake Christian, they could springboard. 450 splash. Cover main, 1, 2. And Ospreay able to kick out.
You know how good Ospreay is, gentlemen, but I tell you, Blake Christian has come to fight.
Blake Christian comes back. Again. 1, 2. Ospreay.
I mean, that was he barely kicked out on that. I don't know. I'm not.
Brian, you know what I'm thinking about right now is just months ago, Kenny Omega's return to action after a very public battle with diverticulitis, the medicals, the stay in the hospital, the surgery, all the recovery and all that. It was like he had a target on his midsection. Ospreay, quite literally, wearing the target on his neck with all the kinesio tape.
Yeah, for sure. And then not only that, so he may feel like athletically he can do all the things he did before, but will he be able to recover from these hits, from these DDTs? I mean, look, from that knee, that was right on the jaw.
Standing slice grab by Blake Christian. Deep cover. And whoa.
Yeah, I think that's the thing that you underestimate as a wrestler is okay, I can do all the things athletically that I can do before, but can you recover the same way that you recovered before?
Gonna have to have a little time recovering tonight because Blake Christian has hammered that neck.
Christian, I think, perhaps looking for his own version of the hidden blade.
That's right.
He's got Ospreay lined up. Ospreay strikes!
Oh, what a great sense of timing.
What a counter from Will Ospreay.
To the blade.